The issue itself goes back to the early 19th century when the British ruled India and Nepal was a conglomeration of small kingdoms under the reign of King Prithvi Narayan Shah. Nepal unveiled a new map of its territories last week. The country's land management minister Padma Aryal called it historically pleasant occasion. However, the move drew sharp criticism from India, which said that map includes the parts of Indian territory. This unilateral act is not based on historical facts and evidences, said by the Ministry of External Affairs. This battle over the historical accuracy of a geographical territory is one that has been brewing between the two neighboring countries for the past several decades. The bone of contention is the Kalapani Lipulake Tri-junction between Nepal, India and China, located on the bank of the river Kali at an altitude of 3600 meters. The Kalapani territory lies at the eastern border of Uttarakhand in India and Nepal's Southern Pradesh in the west. India claims the area is part of Uttarakhand's Pithogarh district, while Nepal believes it is to be part of Darchula's district. Matter comes to a boil earlier this year when India opened a 80-kilometer road linking Uttarakhand with Lipulake across the disputed piece of land. While the territory is of strategic importance to India and Nepal, the issue is complicated by the contest over the history of the cartographic evidence that both sides claim to be most accurate. The issue itself goes back to the early 19th century when the British ruled India and Nepal was a conglomeration of small kingdoms under the reign of King Prithvi Narayan Shah. Talking about the British and Nepal relations, historian John Welton, in his exclusive work, The History of the Nepal, writes that the single image most strongly associated with the history of the modern Nepal is surely that of Prithvi Narayan Shah of Gorkha. He has gritted for battle, a look of determination in his eyes, and his right hand pointed towards skywards. Shah is believed to be most ambitious ruler among the Gurkhas, under whose rule in the late 18th century, Nepal was unified, its domains stretching out as far as Sikkim in the east and Garhwal and Commune region of the Uttarakhand in the west. By the second decade of 18th century, the English East India Company has acquired a formidable presence in the subcontinent. It had strengthened its main bases in Madras, Calcutta and Bombay. By the early 19th century, as the EIC began expanding its territories towards its Awadh, it came into close proximity with Palpa, an independent town within the Nepalese heartlands. Soon after, a border dispute arose between two powers. The Nepalis were also proving to be hindered in allowing the British to release their trade ambitions with Tibet. Finally, on November 1st, 1814, the British declared war on Nepal. The war went on for the next 2 years, involving a series of campaigns. In 1815, the British General Sir David managed to evict the Nepal from Garhwal and Commune region. A year later, the war came to an end with signing of Sugali Treaty. The treaty delimited the boundaries of Nepal as it stands today. As explained by Welton, the treaty required Nepal to give up all the territories west and east of its present-day borders, to surrender the entire Tarai and to accept a permanent British representative in Kathmandu. Consequently, the river Kali marked the western border of the Nepal. However, there is no clear consequences of what is the precise location of the river Kali, giving rise to the dispute over whether the land consisting Kalapani Lipulake is a part of the present day between Nepal and India. While some scholars suggest that lack of consensus is due to the shift in the course of the river over time, others who say that the British cartographers in the consequent years kept shifting the line demarcating the river eastwards for strategic reasons. Talking about the history of maps, Nepalese geographers Mangal Siddhi and Lal Koirala in their work quoted that Nepal-India boundary issue with the river Kali as an international boundary issue that claimed to be since no map attached with Sugal Treaty, countersigned by both the agreeing parties has come to light. The only way to ascertain the correct location of Kali is to examine the existing maps of the period. According to them, until the year 1857, all maps produced by British cartographers suggest that origins of Kali River lies in Limpaidura Pass, but in the period between 1857 and 1881, subtle the deliberate attempt to misname the river Kali got underway. Both the geographers maintain that cartographic move on the part of the British was unauthorized, unilateral, and without any agreement with the government of Nepal. The dispute over the location of the river and consequently that of the territory of the Kalapani was first raised by Nepalese government only in 1998. Even when Indian militant units occupied the Kalapani during the Sino-Indian War in 1962, Nepal did not raise an objection. Nepal virtually ignored the Kalapani issue from 1961 to 1997, but for domestic political reasons, it became an convenient India-Nepal controversy in 1998 between the two Himalayan kingdoms. According to Nepalese government, contended that the western border of the country be shifted 5.5 kilometers westward to coincide with the borders as decided in the Treaty of Sugali. Officials in India, on the other hand, claim revenue records dating back to the 1830s showed that Kalapani area has traditionally been administered as a part of Pitrogarh district. According to a vintage map in 1879, shows that Kalapani as part of India. The Indian government has held that the 1897 map is what should be considered in deciding the borders between the two countries rather than the maps before the period which are held up by Nepal. These differences amount in reality to differences in the map that each country possesses, which is further exacerbated by the shifting course of the Mahakali River in the area that was earlier accepted as a boundary. In the course of last several decades, the border issue has come up on several occasions, and despite repeated negotiations, the two countries have failed to reach a consensus. I really wish that this issue resolves as soon as possible because India and Nepal were very good neighboring countries. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.